Hi besties, happy Sunday. I hope you're having an amazing day. I decided that I wanted to do a little sit down video because I haven't ever done one. I've just done vlogs so far. And I decided that I wanted to go through all of the books I read in 2024 and give somewhat of a review or rating for them. If I have a lot to say about it, I'll say what I want to say. If I don't have very much, I'll just give my quick rating and then we'll move on. Some of the books I read I absolutely loved, and some of the books I read I absolutely did not love. I have my little matcha. I got a strawberry shortbread vanilla matcha. So good. So I'm gonna be sipping on this throughout the video. I have Goodreads pulled up on my iPad. This is what I primarily used in 2024 before I found Fable. Now I use Fable pretty religiously. I do still update my Goodreads, but I just love Fable so much. So I'm gonna go off of this for this video because it's super accurate for 2024. But I do prefer Fable. I think it's just so much cuter. So getting straight into it, I read 52 books in 2024, which is a lot for me considering in 2023 I don't think I read a single book, to be honest. I used to be into reading and then somewhere down the line I just lost it, and then now I have it back. So I'm really excited about that because I just feel like the reading community, especially on TikTok, is such a fun vibe, and I just love being a part of it and knowing the cool books and knowing what everybody's reading and getting to be a part of those experiences. Okay, getting straight into it. The first book I read was The Chase, which is in the Briar You series by Elle Kennedy. Now, the reason that I read this book was because I kept seeing it on TikTok through book talkers. They would have the audiobook playing on the video and they would be reacting to it. And I was just like, oh my god, this book sounds so good. I didn't know anything about the series, about the history of it, about the off-campus series. I didn't know anything. So I read that book. That was the first book I read in January. I loved it. I thought it was so good. I loved Fitz and Summer. I obviously didn't know all of their previous history, which isn't that much history, but I didn't know that they already knew each other, or just down the line. Don't think I fully appreciated the Briar You series until I read the off-campus series. When I read The Chase, I gave it a 4 stars, and I would say that still stands. I think that there were a lot of really good moments in the book, a lot of angsty moments or moments where I'm it was so giddy, and I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. So I read the series in order after that. So I read The Chase, The Risk, The Play, and The Dare. I in the moment think I really enjoyed them because I didn't really know much else about the book world and what it had in store for me. Loved The Risk. I think that's the consensus. A lot of people like that book the most out of the series. I would say it's also a 4-star, even though I definitely gave it 5 on Goodreads. It's a 4-star. I don't think back to it too often, but I did enjoy it. That's the book about Jake and Brenna, and I do think that they're a very cute couple, and I just love the vibes between them. Yeah, I would say 4 stars. It was good. It was a good read. But then you get to The Play. Poor Hunter, because I thought I was really gonna like his book based on, I did really like him in The Chase because I just felt there was this, I don't know, this, he just seemed very sweet, and not that he wasn't, but I don't know, I just felt his book was boring. I was bored. I didn't like it. I didn't hate it, but it was just it wasn't as good as The Risk. To go from The Risk and then go to The Play was kind of eh. Well, I would say that one's a 3 stars. I didn't hate it, but I wasn't I don't know, I just wasn't super excited about it, I guess. And then the same for The Dare. I think in the moment of reading that book, I really enjoyed The Dare, but I think looking back on it, to me, there was really nothing special about that story or that vibe or that book at all. To be completely honest, those are 2 book characters where I'm they're gonna break up in 2 weeks. That's how I felt. And I think I gave it a really good rating on Goodreads, but that's because in the moment, like I said, I was so excited when I first started getting back into reading that I was oh, everything's a 5-star to me right now because I don't know any different. Looking back now, I would honestly say it's 2 stars, maybe 2.5 if I'm being generous. I don't hate that series. I just think that Summer and Fitz and Jake and Brenna stories were the best 2, and then the 2 stories following that just weren't really that interesting to me. I in the beginning of the year found hockey romances and I stuck with that. So you will see a pattern very soon. Immediately after that series, I read Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I did enjoy Icebreaker. I don't think it's terrible. Some people make it out like it's the worst book in the world. It's really not. There are some cringy scenes, but I think there's some cringy scenes in every romance book. How can there not be? You know, there's just some awkward, uncomfortable scenes here and there. I did generally like the book. I really like the found family vibe of Icebreaker. They were another couple though where I was like, I don't see them staying together. I see them getting tired of each other very quickly. But yeah, I gave it 3 stars when I read it, and I'd say that's still probably the same. I would give it 3 stars. If you hear noises, my cat is in here and he is hell-bent on just making as much noise as he can right now, so enjoy that. While I was reading the Briar U series, I realized my mistake with not reading the Off-Campus series first. So I made it my goal to then read that series next. So I jumped right into the Off-Campus series. Truly, what a good series. What a good series. Elle Kennedy, you did it right. The deal is great. I love Garrett and Hannah. There's so many scenes that I think back to that I'm like, there's some cringiness in that book. Like, don't get me wrong, some cringiness, and there's some things that the boys say that just is like, ugh. Overall, the series is good. Garrett and Hannah are great. I would give them 4 stars probably now, like looking back. Definitely gave it 5 stars back then when I read it for the first time. But looking back, it's definitely 4 stars for me. I really liked them a lot though. Like, they were very cute. They're a couple that I feel like they make sense and like I could see them being together kind of vibe. Same with The Mistake, Grace and Logan. I don't know what it is about that book. I see so many people say that like they hate that book or they think that that book was like the worst in the series. Incorrect. That is the best book in the series in my opinion. I loved Logan and Grace. I thought they were so cute. I thought they were adorable and I was obsessed with them. I actually think back to scenes in that book quite often and just think how cute that book was and how exciting that book was to me. That's actually like a 5-star book to me, even though a lot of people don't like it. I don't know why they don't like it. It's so good. I love them. I really do. Same with the score. I love Allie and Dean. I actually also like think that they're like a couple that I think back to quite a bit. They're so cute. They're so adorable. They also make a lot of sense to me. I think all of the couples in the Off-Campus series make a lot of sense to me, except for the last couple. I did not like that book at all. I would give the score a 4-star as well. I really loved them. And I just thought Dean was so cute. I actually reread a few scenes like a week ago and I was reading back and I was like, Dean was so down for her. Like, he wanted her so bad. Like, when they were coming back from the little trip they took up to the city, I think they went to the city or something like that with their friend, with his friend Bo. They're coming back and you can tell he like doesn't want her to go. And he wants her to come back over to his house, or he wants to hang out with her longer or whatever. She can sense that he's like feeling that way. And I don't know, it was just so cute. Like, he was so into her. So good. But yeah, 4 stars for the goal. I don't know what it was about this book that I just found so boring. I was so bored. I didn't really like her. I didn't really love him. I loved him in the other books, but then when we got to his book, I was just kind of like, first of all, him like sleeping in his truck and like making sure she got home safe. Like, I get it. It's cute. Whatever. But like, I don't know. So much of it was just like, this is silly. And I hate the pregnancy trope, like accidental pregnancy. I just wasn't into this couple and I just didn't care about them. So I think that made me not like it. So I'd probably give them like 2.5 stars. I did finish it. So it was okay. It was okay, but they just weren't my favorite. I did read The Legacy, which a lot of people don't like. And I actually really liked it. A lot of people felt like it ruined like Garrett basically because of how he reacted to something in the book. I didn't feel that way at all. I thought he reacted how maybe anybody might react. I thought it was realistic. And I think sometimes people don't really like that in books. I really enjoyed all of the little novellas in that book. I thought it was very good. Honestly, I think I even remember enjoying Sabrina and Tucker. Sabrina and Tucker's like story in that book, even though it was like kind of annoying. And I think that's the thing about them, is it always seems like they're arguing all the time, and it's so annoying. Like, why are they always arguing? Because I think like part of their whole like honeymoon, like they were arguing, and I was just annoyed with them. I just can't. Now that I'm thinking back about it, I didn't really enjoy them in that book. I kept like, I was like skimming through their parts, or through their part in the book. I was literally skipping. I was like, okay, can we please be done with this? Like, they're being annoying. So then I moved on to another hockey series. I moved on to the Wildcat hockey series by Becka Mack. For the first book, it's just called Wildcat, and it's Coach's daughter is like the trope, and I thought it was cute. I now thinking back to it, or I think maybe when I finished the whole series, I realized like I just didn't love it as much as I loved some of the other books in the series. So at the time I gave it 4 stars, but now looking back, I'd say 3. It was just super cute. I like the Coach's daughter trope. I thought they were a cute couple. Then I read Wild About You. That is like a second chance romance, I believe. The couple in there dated in high school, I believe, and then he left for college, I think, and then they broke up because of that. And he like also needed to like grow and learn and focus on his, you know, on hockey, because he wants to be a professional hockey player. He is a professional hockey player in the series, but he wanted to be when they broke up. Yeah, I actually really also liked that one. I thought it was really cute. They were a really cute couple, and I was rooting for them. Cute little book, nothing like crazy, but like it was entertaining. I would say that one is like 3.5 stars. But then the third one, Wild Ever After. This is a fake marriage, right? Yeah. This is a fake marriage book, and I did not know how much I was gonna love this. Loved. It's Declan and Jade's story, and I just ate it up. I ate it up. This book had me kicking my feet and giggling. I was so giddy about this couple. I wanted them to be together so bad, and I loved when they would lean into the fact that they were married, even though they weren't married, or they weren't married. It was so good. I definitely recommend reading this whole series, but especially that one. It was so good. The 4th book was called In Your Wildest Dreams. For some reason I gave this 5 stars. I'm not sure why, because I don't remember a single thing about it other than he meets her she like comes to his hockey game with her current boyfriend, and he sees her in the stands, and he tries to give her his phone number, he flirts with her or something, and then she ends up being his nurse at the hospital when he gets hurt. I don't remember anything else about their story. I know they end up together and they're cute and whatever, but I just don't remember much. Yeah, it just wasn't very memorable. I would say it was cute. I remember like thinking it was cute. So I would say I would give it like 3 stars. This is so embarrassing. Then I moved on to another hockey romance. The next book I read was Rule Number 5 by Jessa Wilder. This was also very popular on Book Talk, which is why I picked it up. I did remember being very bored by this book. I gave it 3 stars, and I would say that is maybe a little bit high. I would say maybe like 2.5, but I do like this book because I like the book that comes after it so much. I love it so much. I ate this second book up. I loved it. It's called Rules of the Game, and that is a childhood friends to lovers / best friend or brother's best friend trope. It gets a little deep, but it is so good. That should have been the first book in the series, and then you should get to that second book. The first book in the series has nothing on this book. It is so good, the second book. I absolutely loved it. I loved their story. I just loved the way it was told. I adored it. I thought it was so good. Every time I see people talking about the first book, I'm literally like, this book is not as good as the second book. Then I moved on to another hockey series. I read Consider Me by Becka Mack, which I actually really liked. I thought it was really good. I really liked, I think his name is Carter Beckett, and I can't remember her name. They have a fuck ton of nicknames for her, and I remember hating it. Her name is Olivia, but he would call her Ol. That set me over the edge. I literally was like, why don't you just say Olivia? It's not even a long name. Like, why do we need these like weird nicknames in some of these books? And it's not even that it's a weird nickname, but it's just not even a good one. Like, call her Liv if you want to shorten Olivia. Why are you using the first 2 letters of her name? That doesn't even make sense. But besides the weird names that he would call her, I actually enjoyed this book a lot. I thought it was super cute. And there is like a third act breakup moment in there, which is kind of annoying, but it made sense for what the story was, I guess. I think it definitely made sense for what the story was. So I wasn't too mad about it. Yeah, I would say I would give that, looking back, I would give that one 4 stars. I really liked it. After that, I read the second book in that series, which is Play With Me. Oh my God. That book is so good. Oh my God. It is brothers teammate because they're on the hockey team together. They're professional hockey players, and so it's Carter Beckett's sister in the second book, and Garrett is the guy's name in the book. And this book is hands down so fucking good. I literally want to get a physical copy of it for myself. I don't even want the rest of the series. I just want that book. That's how good it is. I was obsessed with it. I thought it was so freaking good. I wanted to reread it after I read it because I was like, I think the thing about that book specifically was that they really had like built a friendship. And I feel like sometimes, not always, but sometimes that's what some of these romance books are missing, is that they don't really build a friendship. But I felt like they did in this book. So 5 stars, hands down, so good. I think about that book all the time. Then I read the third book in the series, which was called Unravel Me. It was good. There was nothing bad about it. I actually really appreciate the book. There was dogs in it, which is always fun. And yeah, it was a cute little read, but at the time I gave it 5 stars. And I would say it's a 4 star. None of those books in the series are bad to me. I really enjoyed them. The found family aspect is super strong, and just like you get to see all the characters connect throughout all of the books. So I think that's also really fun. And there actually is a 4th book in the series that I haven't read yet because it didn't come out until like the middle of last year, I think. And I was past the series, so I just hadn't picked it up, but I do plan on finishing the series. So really excited about that. Next, I read another book talk sensation, which was Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. One of the girls I really like on Book Talk, she kept like recommending this book repeatedly. And I was like, okay, let me see what it's about. And I was so confused. I hate admitting this. I truly was rooting for the one guy, the first guy that she ends up sleeping with at the very beginning of the book. I'm so sorry if that's a spoiler. This is a love triangle, but I don't really know if it definitely was, but it didn't feel like it, but it did, I guess. Yeah, I guess it did. I was rooting for the wrong guy for so long, and then I realized like halfway through the book I was like, wait, everybody wants her to be with this other guy. And I'm an idiot. I think I felt bad for the first guy, but then I realized like down the line, he did kind of take advantage of her. And he also like, stand up. Like if you want her, say you want her and don't be embarrassed about it. I actually really loved the book and I loved the drama and I thought it was so good. I would also give this 5 stars. It was very enjoyable. I think a lot of people give this 5 stars. They love this book, and for the right reasons, I think. Yeah, I heavily enjoyed it. Then I went into another hockey series, which is the Vancouver Storm series. This is by Stephanie Archer. So the first book is called Behind the Net. So good. Love this book. Amazing. I think I went into it kind of not really knowing what it was about at all. I just heard people talking about it on TikTok and I didn't really listen to any reviews. I really tried to avoid reviews of books at a certain point because I realized I was either hyping a book up too much or not giving a book as much love because I thought other people didn't like it or whatever. So I would just take book recs off of TikTok but not read anything about them and not go too deeply into somebody's review because I want to make my own opinion about a book, you know. Behind the Net was really cute. I really liked them. I thought they made a lot of sense, and I also thought that they were a couple that would stay together forever. 4 stars. 4 stars. Because the second book in this series is just so freaking good. It's called The Fake Out. And 5 stars all around. 5 stars, 10 stars if I could. It really is like golden retriever boyfriend vibes. They fake date, which I think I've really learned about myself that I love the fake dating trope and I love the marriage of convenience trope. I don't know what it is, but when they're just faking it and not supposed to be falling for each other, but then they actually do, I eat it up every time. Loved that book. I thought it was so good. Rory Miller is the epitome of a golden retriever boyfriend, and he was adorable. How much he was like obsessed with her, and he had been since high school. Stop. I thought they were so cute, and I thought that they really also built a friendship before they made it official. Definitely 5 stars for that book. Then I went into Collide, which is by Bal Cabra. I liked this book, but it was very similar to Icebreaker in the sense that this is definitely a couple that I do not think is going to stay together. They don't seem like they make a lot of sense to me, or they kind of make sense right now, but they won't make sense down the line. I thought the book was kind of cute, but overall I was just kind of like, well, I don't think too much about it now, like after I've moved on from it. But I would give it 3 stars. It was good. Then I finally removed the prongs that hockey romances had inside of me, and I moved on to a small town romance series, which is the Chestnut Springs series. Everybody loves the Chestnut Springs series. And I do too. I read them in order: Flawless, Heartless, Powerless, Reckless, and Hopeless, I believe is the last book. Flawless I really enjoyed, generally speaking. I think that sometimes with first books in this series, when I'm world building, or building the world in my head of the characters and like who's who, what does everybody look like, what does the setting look like, I end up kind of getting lost in that in the first book of any series. Not always, but sometimes, and I think that that is the truth here. I liked Rhett and Summer, but they didn't stand out to me. I liked them, but I just didn't think that they were amazing, but I would still give them 4 stars. I enjoyed their book, but I enjoyed other books in the series better. The second book in the series, Heartless, 5 stars. Oh, Kate and Willa, oh my god, they are so cute. I loved the entirety of the book. I thought it was so good. There was so much built up tension between the two of them. I just adored it, and I really loved it. I also really didn't think I would like a kid in the book, but I really liked this kid in this book, so that was something nice to read about and just have as a part of the story. So good. 5 stars for that one. Powerless and Reckless, I will just lump these two together. These two really did not impress me. I don't know why. I don't know what it was about these 2 books. I just didn't really love any of the main characters in these books. I did like them, generally speaking, but I would say that they were like 3.5 stars for me personally. I liked Jasper a lot, and I thought he was cool, but I just didn't think that like the stories in Powerless and Heartless were all that interesting for me, unfortunately. I would say, yeah, both of them 3.5 stars. Not terrible, but not unbelievable. Hopeless, however, I loved Hopeless. I heard so many people saying on TikTok that it wasn't what they were hoping it would be, or like maybe there was too much anticipation and then it made them not like the book. By the time I got to the series, Hopeless was already out, so I read it right after I read Reckless. And yeah, I loved Bo and Bailey. I thought they were so cute. I don't know, I just think they really got each other, and I think that's what I really liked about it. Just enjoyed their whole story overall. It is another marriage of convenience kind of thing, so that might have molded my excitement for the book, or like when I realized what the trope was, I was kind of like, oh, I'm gonna love this. Right after the Chestnut Springs series, I went into another hockey romance. I'm so sorry. I read Unsteady by Peyton Corinne. I loved it so freaking much. I was so in love with this book when I read it. I also think about this book a little bit here and there. It was so cute. Reese and Sadie were adorable. A little bit deeper than like some of the other books, and I enjoyed it a lot. So 5 stars. 5 stars for Unsteady. I think I bought a physical copy of it because I liked it so much. And I read The Summer We Fell, which is by Elizabeth O'Rourke. She really ate with this one. I really liked this book. I hadn't really heard many people talking about it. I think I found it on TikTok by some random creator. I was looking for recommendations, and I found that one and it was very good. 2 characters in it were very interesting. The whole story itself was interesting. It was different than, I guess, some of the other books I had been reading at the time, so I think that's why I really liked it. It was past and present, so you got to go back to their life before and then go to their life now, and I think that was also very fun. I also would say maybe I want to give it 5 stars. I did at the time, but I would probably say like 4.5. I don't get that 5-star feeling when I think about it, but I do really enjoy it. I did really enjoy it. Then I got into another hockey romance series. I read Offside by Avery Keelan. I remember liking this book, and I really liked how the characters got together, and I thought it was cute. I wasn't like crazily impressed by it, but I did enjoy it. I gave it 3 stars at that time, and I don't remember too much about it, but I don't remember hating it. So I would say that that's still accurate. And then I read Shutout, which is the next book in that series. Oh my gosh, I loved it. I gave it 5 stars then, and I would still give it 5 stars now. It is brother's teammate trope, and they also live together, her brother and his teammate, and she moves in. There's a lot of like sneaking around and whatever, and they have a past that they realize once they meet again. I would recommend it. I think it's so good. I think the first book sets up the second book. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Then this is the first physical book I read last year. Every other book I read was on my Kindle, but I read The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. I heard such mixed reviews about this book. Some people loved it, some people hated it. I really enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. I liked the two main characters, and I don't know, it was really cute. I couldn't stop flipping the pages. I couldn't put it down. I gave it 5 stars, but I would probably give it 4 stars looking back on it, just because I don't get that 5-star feeling from it, but I did really enjoy it. The next like 6 books on here are hockey romance. Then I went into the Holt hockey series, which is Famous Last Words and Against All Odds. So Famous Last Words is the first book in the series. It's by C.W. Farnsworth. I really like this book. Harlow and Connor were super cute. They also have history. I've also learned about myself that I really love when the characters have history. There's just something about it. I loved that they had history, and I loved how it was brought back around, and I loved that he really felt for her and was really into her. It was super cute and super enjoyable read. I gave it 4 stars then, and I would probably give it 4 stars. The second book in the series, however, ate it up. I loved this book so much. It was so good. This is Coach's daughter, and they have history somehow. You find out pretty early on in the book that how they have history, but oh, this book was so good. I just ate this book up. There was a lot of like build up towards their relationship, and I really felt like they built like this caring relationship for one another before fully like just going in and dating. I really liked them. I really liked them so much. 5 stars. Then I read The Graham Effect, which is a continuation of like the off-campus series where you get to see all the off-campus boys. This is Garrett Graham's daughter, Gigi, and yeah, I really liked this book for the most part. I gave it 5 stars at the time, but I would give it 4 stars now. I don't really get that 5-star feeling from it, but it was super cute. Maybe I felt like there was a little insta love in this book now thinking back on it, but I still enjoyed it. I still really enjoyed it. Then I read the Campus Wallflower series by Rebecca Jenchak, but I only read the first 3 because I just did not think I would like the 4th one. I don't know why. I didn't even give it a chance. I just didn't read it. So the first one was Tutoring the Player. I remember thinking it was cute, and I was so confused at first because the way the book starts, I thought that she was supposed to be like into this one guy, and then it flips and she's into the other guy. But which is, I get it, I got it once I understood, but I was so confused at first. I think it made me really like the book. I gave it 4 stars at the time, and I would say it was a cute little 4-star read. The second book is called Hating the Player, which is a second chance romance kind of. Super cute. I did generally like the book, and I thought that the 2 main characters, their names are Gavin and Violet. I'm realizing this isn't a hockey romance series. He's a basketball player at their college. Got away from the hockey for a minute. It was cute. I don't remember like too much about it, but I remember not hating it. I would say I gave it 4 stars then, but I would probably give it 3 stars now. The next book in the series, Scoring the Player. So good. It was so good. I loved this book. I ate it up. I couldn't put it down. Just so cute. They had like, obviously the characters had been in the first 2 books and they had been like kind of interested in each other, but like she's kind of nerdy, I guess, is like the whole thing about her. She just like is the quiet one in the friend group and doesn't really get out much, but he really likes her and like wants to talk to her. He doesn't like really date, I guess. He wouldn't obviously do a casual relationship, but they kind of do this like almost like fake relationship thing. Not even fake relationship, but just like he hangs out with her so she can gain her confidence and like seem cool. He's a quarterback, so also not hockey. Thank God I got away from the hockey for a second there. That one was 5 stars for me. I don't know why. I still think about that book all the time. The next book I read is a hockey romance. It's called Cocky Score by Kenneth King. And this book was not it for me. This book was not it for me. I gave it 3 stars back when I read it, but I would probably give it like 2 now. I don't remember a single thing about it except for it's like brother's best friend and he's a hockey player. That's literally all I can remember about it. Remember a single thing about the 2 of them. And I did remember not liking this book so much in the moment that I didn't even continue the series. So I've never read a single other book in the series, and I think there's literally like 9. It's not that I'll never read them, but probably won't. I don't know. Then I read Beach Read by Emily Henry. Unfortunately, I am one of those people who does not think that this book is all that special. I was just kind of bored. I don't know. I really wish I hadn't been, and I do kind of want to give it another chance, but when I read it, I was so not into it. I feel bad saying that, but like, I didn't hate it. And honestly, the biggest thing that turned the book around for me at the end was the letters from her dad. I was sobbing. I was literally sobbing. That meant more to me than the whole relationship between her and Gus. I don't know. This book was not amazing to me. It wasn't terrible, like I said. So I would give it 3 stars, I think. So sorry to all the beach read lovers. I did give it 4 at the time, but I really don't feel that strongly about it, honestly. Then I read Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. Get me back in my cowboy romance. I really liked the first book, but I don't remember it that much, honestly. So it was good in the moment, but like not something that I hold on to mind. I know it's like brother's best friend or whatever. I did like them as a couple, and they do make sense to me. So I would give it like 3.5 stars. Then I read The Dixon Rule, which had finally come out in that series. It's the 2nd book in the series. I think there's only gonna be 3 total. This book was okay. I don't think about it too often. I would give it 3 stars. No, like they kind of made sense, but at the same time I'm like, this feels forced. It just seems like a relationship for right now, kind of. I wasn't too obsessed with the whole book. I thought it was kind of like and a lot of people did also say like they felt like the ending was very rushed and like abrupt, which I also agree with. Then I went to another cowboy romance series. This is by Kayla Gross. This is Cowboys of Nighthawk, and the first book is called Rein Me In. I liked this book. I thought it was really cute. They have some like history. The girl's coming back from after not being in town for a really long time, and the guy that she ends up with is like has been very interested in her for a long time, and it just admires her for all of her hard work. She left home because her brother died, basically. And yeah, this book was cute. I would give it like 3.5 stars. But the 2nd book in the series was better in my opinion. It was called Rope Me In. This was another one of those books where I felt like the couple really became friends first, or in a sense became friends first, or really created like a strong like base relationship before they were a couple. And I really liked it for that. Very cute, very entertaining. I really enjoyed this one. I would give it 4 stars looking back at it. Then I read Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Now I have not ever read an Abby Jimenez book, but I heard so many people talking about this book and I just really wanted to read it. I actually listened to it on Audible and I could not stop thinking about it after I listened to it. Austin is perfect and wow. I am so impressed. I was so impressed by this book. I literally could not stop thinking about it. It was on my mind for weeks afterwards. I even bought a physical copy of it because I loved it so much, and that I do plan on rereading it at some point so that I can really get into it. 5 stars all around for that one. So good. You just don't so freaking good. I don't know what her other books are about, but that was just such an interesting plot for a book and different in my opinion from other plots of books. So it was refreshing as well. Then I read the second book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. I held off on reading the second book right away because I wanted to savor the series a little bit. I ended up liking this book quite a bit, although I did feel like there was a little bit of an insta-love thing going on, and I wasn't too overly impressed, but I did enjoy it. So I would say it's like 3.5 stars for me. Then I went into the fifth and final book of the Wildcat hockey series, which I read super early on in the year, but the fifth book wasn't out yet. This was the fifth and final installment, and I actually received an arc for this book, which was crazy. I was shocked to my core. I was like so excited when I found out that I was getting an arc. I loved this book so much. I thought it was so freaking good. I gave it 5 stars. The couple in the book was like a very anticipated couple throughout the series because you kind of like, there was just hints of them dropped in through the other books, and then once it finally happened, it just felt like, oh, it was so good. Brothers, friend slash hockey teammate are on an NHL team. It was so good. There's a little bit of an age gap, but nothing crazy. It was so good. 5 stars. Loved it. Then I read Lost and Lassoed by Lila Sage, which is the third book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series, and 5 stars. 5 stars. Teddy and Gus are so freaking cute. I loved them. I love them. I love them. I love them. And I can't wait for the 4th book in the series because I also think I'm going to love those 2 characters together as well. Teddy and Gus are so cute. I just ate this book up. I didn't want to put it down. It was so good. I couldn't recommend that series enough. I think if you want like no thoughts, just vibes, definitely go into a cowboy romance series. Pretty much all I read is no thoughts, just vibes. Like, I don't want to have to do a lot of like deep digging. Like, I just want to read for fun and like get lost in some cutesy little frilly story. That's me. Then I read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Lori Gilmore. Generally speaking, I liked this book. I know that this book has a lot of mixed reviews, but I just love Gilmore Girls so much, and it had such small town vibes, and I just ate that shit up. I feel like I really sped through this book quite a bit. No, this wasn't like a groundbreaking book or anything. I enjoyed it. I gave it 3 stars. I thought it was an entertaining book, and yeah, I really liked the world that they built, and it was super cute. Then I read Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young, and oh my god, this book was so good. Oh my god, it was so good. I loved it. I loved it so freaking much. I really didn't know what to expect going into this, but so many people had recommended it on TikTok, and I was like, I really wasn't into the pregnancy trope the one time I read it, so then I didn't really want to read any other books like that. But so many people said like, this is the one book to make you really like the pregnancy trope. Like, it's done right here. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna give it a shot, and I'm so freaking happy I did. The 2 characters in this book, so good. And I just think it was so well written. The topics that they touched on were so raw and real, and I just think I appreciated that a lot, and I just adored it. I adored it. It was so cute, so good, and I love those 2 characters. That was actually the last book I read in 2024. However, I'm realizing there's a book down here that should have been back in May, which explains why there was such a big gap somewhere. I was like, I didn't read any books in between that time. I did. After I read Cocky Score by Kenna King, and then right before I read Beach Read by Emily Henry, in between those 2 books, I actually read Wild Love by Elsie Silver. Unfortunately, I don't know why I gave this book 3 stars. I think I just remember being kind of bored. I think I remember it feeling too long, and I was just kind of over it by the time we got anywhere. But I did enjoy it, and looking or thinking back to it now, I do like the 2 characters and their story, and I liked the history that they had before. I would probably give it like 3.75 stars rather than 3. 3's a little harsh because I do enjoy the series, and I was so excited for the second book, which I'm actually reading right now. Those are all the books I read in 2024, which is 52 in total. My goal for the year was originally to read 25 books, and then when I quickly realized I was going to hit that far sooner than I was going to finish out the year, I raised it to, I think, 35, and then I raised it to 50. So I was like, I can do this. I can get to 50 books. And I did. Really proud of myself for that. And I'm excited to keep reading this year. I've been reading. I'm on my third book, I think, right now. So that's really exciting. I'm so happy I'm back in the reading world and just like enjoying all these books and stories. And it's just such a good way for me to like dive into something and just forget about everything else that's going on. So I'm still loving reading. And I can't wait to get into all the books that are coming out this year. It's such an exciting world to be a part of, the book world. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for sticking around. I don't know how long this video is, but I assume I've been recording for like an hour and a half. Lots of books to talk about. Hopefully more book videos in the future. If you guys like this one, let me know what you guys want to see from this channel. If you want me to stick to vlogs, if you like some sit down videos where I'm yapping, I would love to yap. I'm a yapper. Just let me know. I'm super open to suggestions. I love you guys so much, and I will see you soon.